What's going on, everybody? It is Alex from Everything for iPod, and today I have a brief unboxing followed by a quick look and then a benchmark and speed test of the Nexus 5. The Nexus 5 is Google's flagship phone, and it lines up with the other Nexus line with the Nexus 7 and Nexus 10 tablets. The unique thing about the Nexus lineup is that all Nexus devices run pure bone stock Android. No TouchWiz, no HTC Sense, nothing to slow Android down. This means that the Nexus 5 ships with Android 4.4 KitKat, the newest version of the Android operating system, and something that some other devices may not see for months or potentially even ever. As I pull the phone out, you can see the 5-inch screen there, and if you're wondering, it is a full HD resolution of 1920 by 1080 with a pixel density of 445 pixels per inch. Underneath the phone is all the documentation as well as a SIM card removal tool. It does come with one of those because this is an unlocked and off-contract phone. You're going to need to put your own SIM card in there. And then lastly, there is a USB to micro USB cable for charging as well as a USB power adapter. There's a few pieces of plastic around the phone which I'm going to take off. They were just for protection and had some information on them. But if you went for the white model of the phone, there's going to be even more plastic on, as the band around the phone has a glossy finish and Google wanted to protect that from scratching. I've only used the device for a couple of hours and I can already tell it feels like a really high quality device. The soft rubbery finish on the back helps provide grip, it looks really nice, and it reminds me of my Nexus 7, so I'm already used to that material and I really like that. The screen looks beautiful, the colors are really vibrant, and it's a really bright screen, and I couldn't make out any pixels at all unless I looked really closely. As far as my first impressions when I turned it on, I started opening up all different kinds of apps, multitasking, going back to my home screen, switching pages, pretty much anything I could do, and I wasn't getting any lag at all. The phone is very snappy, which I really like to see, and it's really a pleasure to use. Now for the benchmarking tests, I'm using the same two tests I used the other day in my iPad Air benchmark video, and those are Geekbench and 3D Mark. If you haven't seen that video yet, I definitely recommend doing so. It's very cool, and it's comparing the iPad to some very popular devices. But now I have some even more popular devices. We have obviously the Nexus 5, the iPhone 5S, the iPhone 5C, and the Samsung Galaxy S4. And we're going to compare them all together and see how they hold up. I'm going to start up the Geekbench test and fast forward to the end when we get all the scores. In case you've never seen a Geekbench test before, basically it'll give us a score at the end relating to the processing power of the phone. So right now, this test is testing how fast each of the processors are, and then we can take the scores, compare them together, and figure out which one is the fastest. As you can see, the Nexus 5 had the highest score with 2,701 for the multi-core score, which is on the bottom. That's the one we're going to be taking a look at. Trailing behind the Nexus 5 is the iPhone 5S with a score of 2,564. All the way on the right, the Galaxy S4 comes in third place with a score just over 1,800. And then lastly is the iPhone 5C with a score of 1,280. Now I'm running the Ice Storm Extreme test inside of 3D Mark to test the graphics power of each of these devices. Once the test got started, it was pretty obvious to tell that the Nexus 5, the iPhone 5S, and the Galaxy S4 ran the test without a problem. There was pretty much no lag at all as far as I could tell, and everything ran very smoothly. And the only differences that came in were the actual colors and the quality of the screen itself. The Galaxy S4 and the Nexus 5 were a little bit more vibrant than the iPhone 5S's screen, but that's not really what we're testing. We're testing power. I just thought I would point that out. And then the iPhone 5C ran a little bit slow. It was really laggy and not as good as the other three phones. As far as scores go, the Nexus 5 maxed out, which means that 3D Mark could not record the score of the Nexus 5 because it was higher than what it could actually handle. The iPhone 5S came so close to maxing out as well, but it missed it by just a few points. The iPhone 5C racked in a score of 3,294, and the Galaxy S4 came in with 6,944. That wraps up my unboxing and speed test of the Nexus 5. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop it a like as well as leave a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this device. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you do so you don't miss out on any of my future content, including my full review of the Nexus 5 as well as my review of the iPad Air, which I'm currently working on. You don't want to miss any of that content, and if you're interested, go ahead and check out my channel for some other iPad Air content, as well as Google Glass content. I have some new stuff up there, and also a full review of that coming soon as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video.